They say storms either break you or they shape you. But what if I told you a storm could do both and still lead you to greatness? Today, I want to share the story of two best friends, Ethan and Jake, whose lives were shattered by life's storm, only to be rebuilt into something even stronger. And trust me, this story might just change how you see your own struggles. Ethan and Jake grew up like brothers in a small American town, in neighborhoods where money was tight and dreams felt like luxuries. But they never let it steal their laughter. From fixing up old bicycles to dreaming of owning their own auto shop one day, they shared everything. Their secret spot was an old oak tree just outside town, where they would spend hours scribbling plans on worn-out notebooks. They swore to each other, "One day, we'll make it out of here, together." But life had other plans. One rainy night, Ethan's father, who worked long hours at a steel plant, died in a car accident on his way home. The loss hit like a ton of bricks. Overnight, Ethan became the head of the house, looking after his mom and two younger siblings. The dreams under the oak tree faded as survival became his only focus. Meanwhile, Jake's life took a turn for the worse, too. A fire broke out in his dad's small auto repair shop, burning it to the ground. His dad, already battling health issues, couldn't cope and sank into a deep depression, leaving Jake to figure things out alone. The world they once believed was full of opportunities suddenly felt cold and unfair. Slowly but surely, the bond between Ethan and Jake started to wear thin. Ethan buried himself in hard labor, working construction by day, bussing tables at a diner by night, barely getting any sleep just to put food on the table. Jake, feeling abandoned and angry, drifted toward the wrong crowd. Gangs, street racing, and quick cash became his new reality. Then came the night Ethan saw Jake climbing into a blacked-out SUV with some well-known troublemakers from the neighborhood. Ethan's heart sank. He confronted him under the oak tree, desperate to pull him back. "Jake, this isn't you! What are you doing, man?" Ethan shouted. "I'm surviving, Ethan. Something you wouldn't understand anymore." Jake snapped, eyes filled with frustration and bitterness. For the first time, it felt like they weren't brothers anymore. The oak tree that once saw their dreams now stood witness to their silence as they walked away from each other. But fate wasn't done with them yet. Months later, during a sting operation, Jake was arrested for his role in an armed robbery. Betrayed by the gang he trusted, he found himself alone in a cold prison cell, staring at peeling paint, realizing how deep he'd fallen. Outside, Ethan was still struggling, though quietly. Unknown to many, he was saving every penny, refusing to give up on their old dream. He eventually rented a rundown garage at the edge of town, hoping it could be the start of something better. But even with the garage, something inside him still felt hollow. Jake served 2 long years behind bars, alone, ashamed, but with a burning desire to make things right. On the day he was released, unsure of where else to go, he wandered to the one place that still felt like home, the oak tree. And there, sitting just like old times, was Ethan. 2 cups of coffee rested on the bench beside him. "I saved your cup. Thought you might need it," Ethan said, offering a small smile. Jake, overwhelmed, could barely speak. "I screwed up, Ethan. I let it all fall apart." "We both got caught in the storm," Ethan replied. "But storms don't last forever, and I never stopped believing in you, brother." That day, forgiveness spoke louder than pain. With Ethan's help, Jake started working at the garage. He was rusty at first, struggling to find his rhythm. Some folks in town avoided him. Others whispered behind his back, but Ethan stood by him, shoulder to shoulder. Then came another twist. One evening, the same gang that once led Jake astray showed up at the garage, demanding protection money. The old Jake might have folded, but not this time. With Ethan by his side, Jake faced them down. No fists, no violence, just courage. "You stole 2 years from me," Jake said firmly. "You don't get another second." The gang left that night, humiliated. From that day on, everything shifted. Word spread, and soon the garage wasn't just a business. It became a place of hope. They hired local kids who'd lost their way, offering them honest work and guidance. Ethan and Jake realized the storm wasn't sent to destroy them. It was sent to shape them. It gave them resilience, purpose, and most importantly, it gave them back their brotherhood. And here's the truth. Sometimes the people who fall the hardest rise the highest, if they choose to. So, when the storms come, and they will, remember Ethan and Jake. Remember that every storm carries two gifts, wisdom and strength. Will you let it break you, or will you let it build you? If this story touched you, comment, "I'm ready for the storm." And don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories.